Patron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. We've got a special guest on Coffee with Scruff today, Michael, who's part of the 5%ers, but more importantly, he's top boy of a company called Trade the Pool. So how are you today, Michael?
Hey, I'm fine, Gary. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Now, obviously with my accent, I am from the north of England, and the one question we always talk about is weather. That's the English way. So
Right.
I'm looking at, well, let's just say it's not so good. What's it like in your part of the world today?
I mean, we are like next to Tel Aviv, so it's super sunny. A little
Thanks for
bit
that.
getting closer to the winter time, but yeah, it's pretty sunny, and I'm with a t-shirt, you know.
Okay, and just to make me feel really bad before we get into this, what is an average temperature for winter for you?
I mean, I guess it's around the 16.
16, right. So that's
16.
tropical to me. Thanks very much. I feel so much better.
You should visit.
Okay, boys and girls. Now, what I like to do, Michael, is rather than have a scripted chat, I like a raw chat of just figuring out who you are, where you came from, maybe your trading background, that sort of thing, and then just bounce off each other. Is that okay? You happy with that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Excellent. Well, floor's yours to start with. Big yourself up a little bit. For those of you who don't know, like I say, Michael comes from the prop industry. Who's Michael? What drives him? What gets you out of bed on a morning to be a trader?
Right. So I've been a trader for the last 15 years, maybe even closer to 16 at this moment. Mostly day trading and mostly day trading stocks. So US market was my main focus, still is. I trade a little bit futures as well, like S&P and NASDAQ, Dow Jones, but my main focus is definitely shares, stocks. And you know, when I first started, obviously I went through the path that everyone went through, right? You start, you don't know what you're doing, you lose money, all of those kind of things.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Yeah. And fortunately, I did have like 2 years that before I just started trading, I took those 2 years to learn a little bit more about the stock market. So anything I can grab my hands on, you know, YouTube channels and some other articles, anything that I actually found on the web. I tried, of course, a demo before that. So I did have a kind of set of mind, the right set of mind before I started to trade, because I knew that I'm going to lose money. So I came prepared for that. And
well, that's a great thing, because if you've got your mindset on a level playing field, shall we say, not rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah.
To me, that sets you on the right path. I mean, for me, I came into trading via industry. It was part of my job. So when you were a trader, did you set out as in, this is going to be a job, or was it, I've got a job and I'm going to do it to the side, and then it evolved into something else? Because I'm always interested in where the initial trading came from.
So in my case, it was 100% trading, because I did have a job, a nice job, managing a place in the center right next to Tel Aviv. And I decided to quit my job and be 100% in trading, you know, give myself a real chance. Because sometimes when you do it on the side, it doesn't really give you enough space to play with, and you know, the experience that you will gather, it will take you a longer time to reach your goals. So I did set aside everything, focused on trading from the early morning all the way to night, you know, improving my skills, watching the charts, even days that I didn't trade, I just watch the charts moving on a 1 minute chart, just moving and see how the candle reacts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And how did you find the transition from, well, essentially working in industry, managing your center, to then just sort of thinking, well, I haven't got anybody looking over me. It's just me and the screen. Because the one hardest part that I don't think anybody can express is it's a lonely job, because it's you against you.
Yeah. That was a lonely, it still is, it's a super lonely job. This is why, you know, we have a lot of communities, and you have your community as well. It's much better and fun to trade together and share ideas and talking about this, understanding the mistakes or the things that you do good. I guess the only thing that helped me here, that before trading, I used to play one shooter game, you know, through the computer. So I used to have like hours in my day that I'm just playing the games all by myself and improving myself and all of those things. So I kind of used to that.
Ah, super.
I was used to that, yeah.
I mean, for me, I akin it almost to golf, because I think golf, it's you against the ball.
Right.
Yeah. And trading to me is a little bit like that, in the sense that you can. Do you play golf, by the way? And then you might get the analogy I'm going to drive at before.
I did that only once.
You played it once. It wasn't crazy golf by any chance. but I'm a big guy. You know, I'm 6 foot. I'm 20 stone. I'm a big fella. And I used to play with a little guy, and he was tiny, wee fella. And I could hit the ball so much further than he could. But he used to beat me every time. Always. Because I would go and think, well, if I lace the ball, boom, I'm a big fella, I can hit it 250 yards.
Yeah.
It's going to be the one. But what inevitably happened was it would swerve off and end in the rough. But this little guy, boom, into the middle of the fairway, then the next shot to the front of the green, the next shot on the green, next one straight in the hole. Whereas I'm still trying to work my way out of the rough that I've just put myself into. And that's why I akin trading to golf, because sometimes you can swing at the fences and what you're actually doing is more damage than good. Whereas if you are consistent and you have a reasonable expectation of target, and you apply yourself to that, but then you rinse and repeat over and over.
Exactly. Yeah.
You then become better. Whereas, because, and what I'm driving at is the kind of the way the industry is sold in the flashy lights.
Exactly.
Because it's always sold as the big hit, the massive money. And we're all going to be Wolf of Wall Street and Lamborghini drivers in a month. Whereas listening to you talk about doing the transition from industry into trading, it seems to be a consistent choice, rather than I've seen a wonderful video, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Does that kind of ring true in your head?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the commercials are all over the place. You know, you see the guys in the Lamborghini and the jets flying around, opening up their laptops, clicking a few buttons, making thousands of dollars and all of those BS. At the end, as we know it, and we've been in the game for a long time, it's about consistency. It's about working your ass off and not trying to swing for the fence, as you mentioned. So definitely.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and this is one of the things, and it's kind of segueing over into where you are today. Because if you'd asked me 4 or 5 years ago, would I trade a prop firm? I would just automatically say no. You know, I wouldn't have even give it a second thought. Why would I pay somebody to trade?
Right.
But then I met you guys. You know, and I met you through, as you mentioned, the community that I run, simply because they brought it up. They said, we want to try this. Okay. Right. And I'm like, who are they? What are they? Why would you do this? And then I went through the T's and C's, and I said, the only way I can advise you is if I personally do it. And that's kind of where I came, and I passed your challenges, etc., etc. And genuinely changed my mind. But the part that changed my mind more so was the moral compass of the company.
Yeah.
In the sense that I see plenty of prop firms out there, and they are borderline gambling in the way they want you to trade. And I don't like that. I like the fact that you have a time you're supposed to move forward. Now, prior to coming into the prop industry, I mean, because I've obviously changed my mind now because I've seen it and I've seen the fruits of it. What was your take on the prop industry? Because obviously you crawled to the top of it, but I'm curious as to what you would have seen prior to going into it.
So I came with a background before coming to trade a pool. I came with a background of a prop. I managed a pretty large prop firm in Tel Aviv just before I came to trade a pool. So so I knew about the industry that way, and basically we had about I believe at the top we had about 70 traders coming every day to work and trade in the US market. They trade in the US market, and basically it makes sense to me. It makes sense to trade with a prop firm because you don't risk your own money. You get a lot of much more leverage or buying power. You have strict rules, and this is a must. Us, if we sit at home just by ourselves, it's much harder to really close the computer when you're reaching your daily loss, for example. But when you have a prop behind you that telling you, okay, that's it for today, it's just keeping you in the game, right?
So that'll have been like traditional dealing desk prop proprietary, where you go to an office and they give you a desk, you pay your fees, etc.
Yeah.
Now, do you see, I've never done that. I've always traded my own funds, and prior to that, it was company funds on forward purchasing. So that side of prop was a little bit alien to me. Is there a difference between sort of that industry of prop against sort of remote retailing prop firms that you see today? What is there a transition between the two?
I mean, a few things. First of all, I guess the COVID pushed it further more for doing it remotely. Now you got guys trading with us either in the Fivers or trade a pool from all over the world, literally every continent, every big city in the world, whatever it is. As long as you have internet, you have the access to trade on our funds and actually make money from trading. So that's amazing. The only tiny difference that I see when it was local, like in person, when they came to the office, it's a little bit nicer because you actually have the person in front of you. Instead of sitting at home, you actually go outside and you put on nice clothes and you can sit and talk to the guy next to you or see what is trading and all of those things. That actually, that's a nice benefit to have when you come to the office.
Excellent. Takes away the loneliness, I guess. So touching on sort of the Fivers and then obviously over into trade the pool, did you just come directly working for them, or did you try one of their sort of evaluations and then found you liked it and stayed? What was your route into the company, and then how did you get up into where trade the pool is now? And then maybe discuss what trade the pool is for those who don't know, because to me, for a retail perspective, not as in dealing desk perspective, I think it's one of the few, if not the only, share dealing prop firm out there.
Yeah.
Am I reasonable?
Yeah, definitely. So basically, Trade a Pool is a funding prop firm that fund stock day traders. So we aiming for those guys that want to trade equity, that want to trade US market, at least for now. Obviously, in the future, we will add more types of market, like the UK market and the Asian and all of those things. At the moment, focusing on day trading stocks. And we are the only one who's doing that when it comes to our remote and the evaluation phase and all of those things that most guys are already familiar with from the Forex market. I came to trade a pool literally by accident. A friend of mine, Yaniv, is also one of the guys who works here. he gave me a call and told me about the project. I still remember it. I sat in Tel Aviv in a restaurant eating my pizza, and he just gave me a call and said, you know what, we are looking to expand. We want to develop this this idea of day trading stocks. I know that that's what you do. And basically told me if I want to join. I didn't do anything at that time. I just sat at home and traded. I had like a year between the prop firm that I managed in Tel Aviv and joining Trader Pool. So I said, let's check it out. The guys here, as you're familiar with, are amazing.
Yeah, they're
and
excellent.
the idea is, of course, was very appealing to me. Day trading stocks, that's like my bread and butter. So developing a prop firm for the remote guys from all over the world. So that was a no-brainer for me to join.
Oh, fantastic. And now, when it comes to stocks, I'm first to admit I am terrible at it. I really am. Forex and indices, I kind of know it by the back of my hand. And when I'm talking to my guys, I sort of go down the route of be a specialist rather than a generalist. And what I mean is just a couple of assets, maybe trade cable, gold, and the FTSE, because there's a correlation between them. And you get to know them and you get a dance partner, one thing. However, with stocks, I kind of get a little bit overwhelmed with how many they are, because there's thousands of them, and you've got to go through your screening. What's your take on sort of stock trading versus Forex trading? Because to me, I think you're more a generalist if you're a stock trader. You'll trade anything. But I'm not rightly sure which side of the fence. And for me, it's a learning curve, because part of me thinks, well, I'll only just trade Tesla because I know the chart moves every day and it's got good volatility in it. But then you sort of think, well, am I limiting myself?
So
you tell me, give some advice to some of the viewers that are interested in stocks, where they would go with it.
I guess there are two main ways or players, right? The one that actually focusing on those 3 to 5 symbols like Tesla, Apple, Google, whatever it is, Netflix, Amazon, PayPal, like big names with a lot of volume, a lot of liquidity, and you know that they are volatile. And this is one side. And the other side is basically guys that are using scanners, real-time scanners that will pop up the most active and volatile stock for today. So today I might trade KALA, one of the penny stocks that pops up because of a pharmaceutical FDA approved or whatever it is. And tomorrow I will trade something else, completely different. So yeah, you can choose basically. There are guys that doing that. There are guys that doing that. There is no right or wrong. Just whatever feel right for you, at least. You know.
Right. And I suppose when you're talking about, say, an FDA approval, fundamental analysis.
Yeah.
You know, as I've just said, I'm a technical trader, mainly technical, because I'm looking for the patterns in the chart, the movement of the chart, and I have kind of an 80-20 rule of, on any given day, it's 80% technical, 20% fundamental. Right. However, I am trying shares with Trade the Pool. It's been up, it's been down. And if I end the month on a positive expectancy, I think I'll have done well from a standing start.
Yeah.
My take seems to be, it's not so much 80-20 in the stock world. It's almost 50-50. You need a news-driven catalyst as much as you need the technical ability of the chart. So am I off base here?
No, you're actually quite right about it. If you're trading things like Tesla and those kind of things, you know, big names, they will move either way, but it will be better to trade them on a news day.
Yes.
But when it comes to like those other stocks, let's say, not the big names, you definitely want to stick to the news. You come in, you actually find the right stock to trade on from the news, the catalyst. So the FDA approved, the upgrade, downgrade, you know, a lawsuit, whatever it is that moving that particular stock today. As soon as you have the news coming and pushing it, it will go, shooting up or shooting down or falling down. And there you will see your patterns and your technical aspect of the chart.
Okay. And where do you find this information? Because, I mean, when we look at the World Wide Web, you could just tap Forex in, stocks in, and there'll be a million pages.
Yeah.
So if you are to drill it down into an easy way, because I can see that the gainers and losers, etc., on Trade the Pool's website. Yeah. Where do you start your day? So Michael comes, he puts on his desk, finishes his coffee, because we all know Scruffy likes it coffee. Got to have your coffee, Michael.
I'm with a tea, actually. But yeah.
Tea? No, coffee. We're in the real world here. Coffee. But you switch on, and you're ready to go to market. Sort of your pre-market prep, shall we say?
Right.
Is there certain tools that you use, or a routine that you would go through, before the bell fires?
Yeah, definitely. Probably depends on the day, but about 45 minutes before the opening bell, I will first scan the news. Generally speaking, just go to Market Watch or Seeking Alpha, whatever it is, just reading and try to understand the sentiment generally. Then I will zoom in and go to the trading platform. Now, as you know, on our trading platform, you have the gainers, the loser, highs, lows. We also are working, and hopefully in the next week or so, we will add other tools as well that will help you even get a better edge in regarding to scanning the right stocks. So I'm working on 2 collaborations at the same time. It will be amazing as soon as we'll launch that. Oh,
super. I'll keep an eye out for that. And once you've done your scan, I mean, I do a similar thing. I make up a strength sheet of, I want to see the strongest versus the weakest, and then I want to see if there's a movement between them. Yeah. And then that gives me, not direction, it just gives me movement. And that's all I'm looking for. But I'll drill that down into 2, 3 stocks or assets at best. But then I'll drill that down even further into a single asset for the day. So basically, I'm filtering all the way down. Is this something you would do with stocks, or would you sort of maybe have 10 stocks open and try and trade 10 stocks, or would you focus down into a single stock?
Yeah, so what I'll do is basically get between 5 to 10 stocks that have this news catalyst that will push them. I will then analyze each one of them separately, and just draw scenarios where what I want to see from each one of them. And as soon as I'll see that they're reacting in real time as the opening bell starts, then I will jump on the right one that created the scenario that I wanted to trade, basically. Okay. Went up, broke a level, retest it. Now it's ready to continue to the upside.
And where would you see that? I mean, I'm a big advocate, because again, it's all a learning curve for me. I spend my life on our charts. Yeah, that's where I spend my life. But on stocks, I seem to find that I'm framing down. I'm almost down onto a 15-minute to get an idea of movement, and then even down into a 2-minute chart to enter it. Whereas in my Forex world, I wouldn't even consider that. I'm like, a minute chart, are you off your nut? It's nice. But whereas in shares, it almost seems to be a better time frame. So I'm almost trying to reframe my mindset. Yeah. And that raises another question after this. So go on.
Okay, so basically, as a day trader, you want to trade a lower time frame. Of course, it depends on your personality. If you feel enough good on the keyboard and whatever it is that that your personality will connect to. But basically, what I'll do is start from the hourly chart. I will analyze that, mark the levels that the supply in the main areas, and then go all the way down to the 1-minute chart and trade it and find my entry price and the stop loss and all of those things from the 1-minute chart. So I'm basically literally 90% trading the 1 minute chart. I will add just one tiny thing. If you want to go even furthermore, what I'll do is open another chart from a different platform on a 5-second chart, but this is not for entries, but it's more of like a level 2.
Yeah.
In the trading, in the stock trading, you have level 2, basically the full book, the market.
Yeah,
depth,
you can see
right?
the order flow coming in of sorts.
Exactly. So on a 5-second chart, you're actually looking at a level 2 that already executed. So you can see the tiny nuances between the charts, the bid and the ask, basically.
Okay, and the second kind of part of the question is transferable skill, because there's going to be a lot of people out there that follow my channel. They are predominantly Forex and indices traders. So what kind of transferable skill can they morph across into a stock trade? Now, for me, it's the same skill, but framing it down, as we've just discussed. It's a strange bit of a minefield of where do you take your mind on this one?
You do need to work your way, like you said, scaling down or framing down. Yeah, it will be a little bit faster, a little bit stronger moves, let's say, faster moves. This is one thing. The other thing you need to learn, the terminology of stocks, because we have the news that you need to know what types of news come in when. You have a short squeeze. So those kind of things, it's good to have before jumping in and start trading stocks. Of course, in Trader Pool, we have it all covered, and Alex, that you're well familiar with, made great videos explaining, super easily explain those things. And yeah, I guess this is what you need to know. The other thing is, the Forex market is like 23 hours, right? Running 3 hours, 23 hours a day. So in day trading, especially in the US, you have 6.5 hours. So you need to focus. This is why I like it so much, because you have like 2 hours that you put 100% of your focus, and that's it. So you take like 2 hours a day, just focusing.
Actually, I'm glad you've said that, because one of the things I've figured out for myself is I do really well. This is UK time, so it's 2:30 when the bell goes to about 4 o'clock. It seems the market sort of surges. You can see the move. You get in, and you think brilliant. But when I try and hold it longer, sort of like hang on to the trade, I often find it reverses and comes back and gives me. And it's caught me on a number of occasions. And sort of this week, I thought pretty much what you've just said. And again, framing down, so, I'm not going to trade it up to the bell. I'm just going to trade it out of the gate. And as soon as I'm paid, walk away.
Exactly. Day trading as its finest, just finding the right move, one move, 2 moves, and you're out, basically.
Yes. So again, I'm on the right track. See, this is a good experience for me, because I'm learning all the time. But
that's amazing.
One of the things that you touch on, and you mention it a lot, about being the US market. And again, there's going to be a lot of US viewers out here. Now, I know what the rule is, but I'm unfamiliar with it because I don't fall under it. But the US has strict laws on the way they day trade. You've got to have X amount in the account. First in, first out, 3-day rule, all of this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But Trade the Pool got round that. How did they manage to get round that so everybody on every corner of the planet can be trading on the same piece of paper?
The simple answer is because we're trading one big pool. So basically, we have a nice chunk in our account, and we have sub-accounts. So anyone that joined Trader Pool will basically take some of the margin, some of the buying power from the pool, from the main pool. Okay. And this is how we get around it. Obviously.
So just to my Neanderthal head here, it's a central account
Right.
but you all trade the same account rather than an individual account. Is that right?
Yeah.
And
So
you get a little portion of it. You're allowed to risk X amount.
exactly. So you have, like, let's say you have $10 million in the account, and then you have sub accounts that anyone that join actually getting some chunk of that $10 million.
Okay. And then that bypasses all of the pattern rules, etc.
Exactly.
That's out there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go, no brainer. I mean, I will put links to Trade the Pool down in the comments and description if you want to try it and check it out. I mean, I'm right in thinking there's a demo period at the start.
Yeah,
so you
14 days.
Yeah, so you can try it, play with it. If you like it, brilliant. And if you don't, well, at least you've experienced it, or you can use it to hone your skill.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the evolution of where Trade the Pool is going,
Right.
and then where the evolution of where Michael's going, because I'm assuming you still trade.
Yeah, I'm trying to, of course, less than what I did, let's say, a year ago, because as the CEO, I'm all over the place, having conversations and the collaborations and a lot of meetings in the office and all of those things. But I definitely have this at least an hour a day that I'm saying to everyone, okay, stop what you're doing, or don't come here next to my desk. I'm trading for the next hour. I don't want to hear about anything. So yeah, because as a trader, you have it in your blood. You will keep doing that till you reach I don't know, 70 or 80, right?
I agree with that. I mean, I came into the trading world by accident. I never wanted to be a trader. I was managing director of a mail order company, and I thought that was it. That was my job. That's where I was going to retire. But as I grew into this through that business, funny enough, it did get into my blood, and it becomes you sort of. I think if you get it, you get it. And you mightn't be a millionaire, but you will love it for the rest of your life, sort of thing. Yeah. Even if I started a new business tomorrow, I still think I would do what you're saying. I'd keep an hour to myself just to keep my finger on the pulse. But when you're trading in that hour, are you looking at it to beat the market, or are you looking at it to make money? Because I think that's a big question to ask a lot of traders. I always think it's process over money.
Oh yeah, okay. I mean, I guess today, my state of mind or mentality is a little bit different than what it was like 2 years ago or 10 years ago, right? Today I'm just trading to perform well. Regardless, the money is the outcome of doing well, right?
Exactly, and that's what I'm driving at. I think trading is, like I say, you either get it or you don't. And I think those who fail and sort of maybe some advice for these guys. I think the moment you start chasing the money is the moment you fail.
Yeah.
But if you trace the process and you understand the concept, then you can put your mind in the right place. And that's kind of going full circle into where Michael came from. If you can get that process, the money just naturally follows. And it's why something I say at the end of every video is, do what you love and the money will follow.
Yeah.
And I believe that.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. In anything you do in life, it makes sense. When you're doing something you like, you're doing it with passion. You give yourself more space to investigate the field that you want to succeed in, and all of those things. You learn more, so you become better. Simple as that.
And have you evolved as a trader doing this as a prop and seeing it from a managerial point of view and overlooking other traders? Has that helped you evolve as a trader?
Tremendously. There were two things that made me a better trader. One, a guy that I met, it was a student of mine actually, but he was a businessman, a business guy. So he came and gave me a set of mind, a different set of mind. He saw that I'm successful in trading, but he actually pushed me much higher, or took me to the next level in regarding to the set of mind that I had. It made me become more aggressive in trading in a good way.
Okay.
So that was amazing for me. Definitely a turning point. And the other thing is learning from other traders, because, you know, we have thousands of traders. So, and I had the guys in the office in Tel Aviv. So I always saw what they are doing. I took some of that to my trading. And of course, the mistakes that they made, and, you know, I worked through that as well and try to understand, okay, is doing this mistake because 1, 2, 3. So now that now that I'm watching from the side, I understand stuff about my trading as well. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. It does. I mean, to be honest, we evolve all the time. But do you think your core value stays the same? Are you still trading roughly a similar strategy to what you did, say, 5 years ago? But just bolt on little bits and make it a bit better?
Yeah, exactly. But like for the last, I guess, 7, 8 years, I'm mostly buying the dip, looking for a nice drop, and then finding the button and just buying there. But my trading skills, like the scaling in, the scaling out, the managing the trade part, became much better as I continued to trade and learn from the traders, and brought the set of mind of aggressive trader.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And talking of strategies and sort of a little quick fire before we let you get about your day. If you've got somebody who's a blank screen, they've never really, they know a candlestick, they know moving averages, etc. They've done the basic homework. Where would you advise them to start on a chart? You know, so as they come to trade the pool, and it's the first time they're seeing, because like most people, it's overwhelming because it's brand new and it's, whoa, where do I start? You know, what kind of advice would you give a new starter that's looking in your industry stocks? Where would they start? Right.
So I guess the first thing is to start with just learning. Of course, we have a short course of pre-market preparation when I go through all the details of what I do every day and those kind of things. So maybe try to get set of pre-market preparation for yourself, or try to develop one for you. Understand what time frame is the right for you. Maybe a 1 minute chart is not the one for you, so you stick with a 2 minute or a 5 minutes or even 15. Depends on your personality and what you like to trade. So I'll be focusing on that, and also understanding what type. If you're going for not the big names, like not the Tesla and the Amazon, if you're going for the stock in play, what we call it. So if you're going for that, try to understand how important is the news for that stock. Okay, so for example, if it's an FDA approved, that's a huge benefit for that stock, right? If it's an upgrade coming from Goldman Sachs, that's a huge benefit for the stock. But if it's something like, I don't know, an upgrade coming from a third or fourth familiar bank, I mean, not a familiar bank in the US, maybe it won't push the price too much. So those kind of things, small nuances to understand which news will be better for the stock to move it down or up.
So reading between the lines, something that I preach to my guys: do your homework first.
Nice.
Don't just dive in. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you recommend any sort of trading books or a book in general that can get people in the right mindset? I mean, for me, it was The Art of War. It's not a trading book, but it's an excellent book to get your mind right.
I mean, yeah, definitely, that's a great book. I guess when it comes to, at least from the trading part, you can go with the Reminisce of Stock Trader.
Oh, Jesse Livermore. That's a fantastic book.
I read it tons of times. And you know what? When I first started, like 15 years ago, I read it once. I didn't understand what I want to talk about, like really understand the nuances. And then I read it again, probably last year or so, and then it blew my mind because it just talking to me. Yeah, I understood everything he said. It just made a lot more sense and all of those things. So we definitely read that and give yourself time between the first reading and the second and the third and the fourth reading.
Ah, superb. And then just finally, we know you trade the pool and 5%ers, but where's the best place to contact these companies if they so wish to follow? There will be links below, but from the horse's mouth, where's the best place to look?
I mean, just to join us, you can go to trade a pool, try the 14 days. If you have any questions, of course, just send us to help@tradeapool.com. I always look at the help Gmail as well, or email as well. So if there are any tickets or are any questions, important questions, I will jump in as well and answer them. Although we have, the success traders department, but I always like to be involved. We have a Discord that running pretty good, and we upload in a lot of hot stocks and the news and all of those things. Try to push the guys here to perform better, basically.
Okay. And then finally, and I ask everybody this, can you leave one motivational quote to keep everybody revved up and going?
Yeah. Okay. That's an interesting one. So I have one from Michelangelo, right? Hopefully I can say it in English. Let me rephrase it in my head. It's basically what he said is that most people are aiming too low and getting that goal instead of aiming higher. Does that make sense? Yeah,
it does. Why aim for the sky when there's footprints on the moon?
Right.
Excellent. Well, that's been wonderful having you here. Absolutely pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
And thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Gary.
All the best to you.